Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and it's time to talk about what we saw at Toy Fair 2019. Now, I was not able to go, it's just too expensive for me to fly to New York for Toy Fair, so I got almost all of these photos from toyark.com. You can check them out, there's a link in the description. All the credit goes to them, not claiming these are mine, just using them so that we can talk about the things that were shown off and what we will be able to purchase in the very near future. So we're going to look at a few different brands, a few different manufacturers here today, and I'm going to try to get everything all done in one video. I think that's the best way to do it. So we're going to start off with Storm, and the first figure we have is Naked Guy in blue Speedo. And this is, I believe it's Golden Axe, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much appeal there is for this type of figure across the general collecting community, but it looks like a good figure for what it is. It's not right up my alley, but I'm sure some people are going to be interested in it. Then we also have this guy, and we have his red counterpart as well. We'll talk about him in a second. I don't know who these guys are. I didn't Google the name because it's not going to matter if I know who they are or not. But if you know who they are, then you might be excited. They look like really good figures. Like, I like the sculpts, I like the proportions. The styling looks nice. I'm pretty pleased with what it looks like, assuming it's even remotely what it's supposed to look like. But I mean, they look cool, so I'm okay with that. I'll have to look into what it is a little bit more. The red one looks good too. I mean, they're gonna be a cool little set of figures, I guess. I really need to figure out what they're from. I don't know. Are they King of Fighters? Is that a thing? Are they from that? I don't know. I'll have to look it up, but they look cool. Next up, we are looking at the Injustice version of Bane, which I think is comically bad. It's got the worst proportions I've ever seen. Giant arms, little stumpy legs, almost no torso, no chest, little peanut head. It's just a really weird combination of proportions. And if he looks like that in the game, then fine, but I don't know, that does not appeal to me. Just like I said, Darkseid didn't look very good originally. Lobo's really the only cool one, and we saw him before, so that's going to do it for the Injustice figure roundup. Next up, we have the Gears of War Cole, and these figures both look good and bad. You can see there's tons of detail, and they're going to have lots of accessories and things. They're already up for pre-order in Big Bad Toy Store, so check out the link in the description below. But they look cool, they look kind of skinny, and the likenesses aren't very good. Like, that's kind of what Cole looks like, but not really. It's just passable enough to get by. However, Marcus, nope. None of the heads look like Marcus Phoenix. In fact, some of the heads look more like Dom. It just does not look right. It looks very wrong. So I don't know. I may be tempted to buy these if they end up looking different, but we'll see. I'm a Gears fan for the most part, but I'm not a diehard fan. So if these don't look quite right, and they already look kind of slim for what the Gears figures or characters look like, I don't think I'll be persuaded. They have to turn out really cool for me to want to buy them. Next up, we have Cammy in her not Cammy outfit, which is such a disappointment. It looks like a really good figure, don't get me wrong. Like, it looks like it's supposed to for the most part, but why? Why is it this outfit? I'm guessing Capcom had something to do with it, or maybe the people at Storm just like this outfit, and that's fine. You know, it's whatever. It's an accurate outfit. But for me, man, I want that classic Cammy outfit. I don't want the Lara Croft outfit with the wrestler knee pads. Like, that's just a weird look for her. It's not my thing. It's gonna be fine, and I'm gonna get it. But I want the classic one. She looks even kind of bored to be in this outfit, honestly. She's like, yeah, this is like the most unoriginal outfit ever, but I guess I'll wear it because I'm getting paid to be here. So it's whatever. It looks fine for what it is. We'll see. She doesn't look manly. I know a lot of people say their figures look manly when they're females, but I think it looks okay. So we'll see, I guess. Hopefully we get a regular Cammy too. That'd be really, really nice. Kind of big news here. We finally get a look at their Guile figure, which for the most part looks pretty good. I have to point out though, his arm tattoo, the American flag, not on the right spot. Should be on the shoulder. Potentially really overly sculpted forehead. We'll see. It looks kind of like a caveman. Hopefully that's not quite the case once it comes out. I know the shading or shadows right there kind of skew it, but we'll see. I have hope. It looks good enough that I have hope for it, so I'm pretty happy about that. But the thing I am most happy about from Storm, by far, Sagat. You can kind of tell how tall he is compared to Guile. He's a beast, and he looks pretty much perfect. I am very, very excited for this. Now this is the Street Fighter 2 look as far as I can tell. So he's not like overly bulky like Street Fighter Alpha, though that would be a really fun figure to have. This is like the quintessential classic Sagat, and I'm just so psyched that they nailed it. The head looks good, the body looks good, the scar looks good, I think the articulation looks good. Like they did a really, really good job with this guy. We don't have any weird cutouts for the butterfly joint type situation. All around, this is just a showstopper type figure as far as I'm concerned. It's easy to screw something like this guy up because he's so basic, but it looks to me like they nailed it in basically every regard. So I'm super pumped for this. I cannot wait to get my hands on this figure. So nice. Just need Vega and Blanca from them. I think that'd be awesome. All right, now we're gonna move on to Neca. One of the things that everybody's excited about is the reissue of the comic Turtles and Foot and things, and those are gonna be in 2-packs. I mean, that's fine if you already have them though, who really cares? So let's move on to what's new, which is, as you can see, Bebop and Rocksteady in their comic version, obviously, and they look awesome. They look exactly like they should. Very stylized, but very faithful and accurate. It looks like they'll be articulated well enough. I'm pumped. These are going to be a nice addition to the collection, so nothing really more to say about that. They look really, really good. Probably the best thing Neca showed, I think. And then we get some more Crash stuff, which, as far as I'm concerned, well, that cow has been milked enough. I'm just kind of done with the whole Crash thing. I'm wondering how you guys feel about it, if you're big Crash fans. I'm guessing you guys are psyched. I was never a huge Crash fan. It's just like, I get it. I got Crash stuff because he's a gaming icon from my youth, but yeah, I don't care anymore. Do I need these side characters? I really don't. I'm sure a lot of people do though, so that's fine, and they look pretty good. But we're getting another Crash figure. Another one. This one has interchangeable heads and the mask, so like, I don't know, man. Do we need more Crash figures? Also, it looks like they still haven't fixed the paint. Like, his mohawk should be darker brown than everything else, not lighter. So that kind of bugs me. If we're gonna get an ultimate sort of Crash figure, then I don't know what the point is if it's not going to be more accurate. So that kind of bums me out, honestly. And then we get to look at Spyro, which looks really good, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be really happy to have it. And that's about it, because it's a four-legged dragon. It's not going to be especially articulated. It's going to sit there and look really nice, and NECA's really good at that, so it should be a really nice release. I'm guessing most people who are interested in this are going to be very satisfied. Because, like I said, you can only do so much with a four-legged dragon with stumpy little legs, and I think NECA's going to do what they can with it, so that's cool. Next up, we got to look at this new Predator figure, which is the Alpha Predator, and it might just be really big because it's a prototype type situation. They're trying to show it off, but it stands taller than the Assassin, or whatever it's called. I think it's Assassin, from the last movie, which is like 3 or 4 inches taller than a regular 7 or 8 inch Predator. So it's humongous, but it's not quarter scale, so I'm not sure. We'll see what it is. But either way, it looks really, really cool, and I thought that'd be a nice thing to talk about. Because as far as I'm concerned, the only stuff I care about from NECA is not the horror stuff, and that's unfortunately what they showed off most of. Okay, moving on to Hasbro, we have Overwatch. A good look at a lot of Overwatch stuff. First up, we have Lucio, and these figures look like they're going to be pretty dang good. Maybe not like on par with like Figma quality, but Figma's been screwing up the line anyway, so it's not really even a fair comparison in the first place, but it doesn't matter. These look really good. They're going to be in like Marvel Legends scale, relatively speaking. And they seem to be scaled well enough against each other too. So you have like Reinhardt, he's really big. You have Lucio, who's very small. Obviously, I think they're gonna, well, not obviously, but I think they're gonna skew to the center, kind of like the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball figures, where the big guys are slightly smaller and the small guys are slightly bigger. But generally speaking, the scale should hold up. So we have Mercy. She looks really good. Lots of clear plastic, lots of shading. It's going to be an important thing. There's lots of nice character designs from Overwatch. So if they can actually tackle those specific designs, then I think Hasbro's got a money machine right here. They're just going to be printing money with these figures. So Farah looks really good. Hopefully the wings don't have to be like that, because they're not always like that. So that's going to be a problem if she's always got the 4 things going on. But either way, very, very nice looking figures so far. Looks like they have better articulation than Marvel Legends, with the upside down ab crunch plus a diaphragm joint, which is potentially really good. It depends if they screw up that upside down ab crunch like DC Icons did, because those look bad. But there's Reaper, although here's the thing, Reaper's not in his P1 costume, so that's a little strange that they're starting off with some alternate skins. Not a bad thing, but I think most people are probably going to want the P1 skins if they're not going to get the one that they main naturally. Then you can see Reinhardt here, lots of detail, probably very limited articulation. Hopefully they get that worked out to be fairly posable. Sombra looks really really good. Again, more shading, lots of tiny details. Her translucent accessories nice. Can't really complain about these guys. They look really good so far. Soldier 76, you can't see it in this photo, but in other photos, he had tons of like blocky articulation in the ab crunch area, and it just didn't look very good. But we get his missiles, which are maybe a little bit too flaccid, but it still looks like a pretty cool figure nonetheless. Tracer, maybe not the strongest showing in the face department because her goggles look kind of big and clunky, but everything else looks really, really good. The paint job is very clean. All around a really strong looking release so far. So I'm very hopeful for this line. I've kind of fallen out of touch with Overwatch. It just isn't fun for me anymore, but I still do really like the character design, so I think it's cool that we're going to be getting a nice line from them. I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful. I mean, I don't have anything against Hasbro when they put out product that's good. So here's hoping that it is, in fact, good. Now we can talk about some Marvel stuff. Here's Union Jack, a really nice iteration of Union Jack. Maybe not the most important character to get a new release, but I guess it's kind of overdue. We haven't had a good figure of him kind of forever. The first one's not too bad, but this one looks like it's going to be a lot better, so I'm kind of pumped about that. Though it appears it's going to be a Bucky Cap mold. I don't mind it. I know a lot of people will. Do with that what you will. I said will twice. Is his name Will? Maybe it is. Here's the one I'm most excited about out of everything. I think Mr. Sinister. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It looks so good. This one that's actually on display doesn't look quite as good as the one in their promo picture, which you'll see in a second, but it still looks really freaking cool. I love Mr. Sinister's design. I've been dying for a new figure for him for a long time, and this one just nails it. It looks so good. They actually put a lot of effort into it, it seems, and I am pumped. But it looks even better in their promo picture because the blue is a lot more blue and metallic. It's a lot darker and a lot shinier. So if he looks like this, it's going to be even better. If he looks like the other one, it'll be okay. If he ends up looking like a generic figure because I didn't do any metallics or anything, it's going to be a giant bummer. But this right here, oh my god, that looks good. I can't wait for this figure. Easily the most anticipated Hasbro figure for me at all, completely. Like, it's just that good looking, and I want the character, but oh my goodness. And then we have this guy, who I'm not familiar with, and I really couldn't care less about. Looks like a decent enough figure. I've seen the design before. I kind of ignored it because to me it's like the corniest, cheesiest design ever, and I just don't care. But it's a Bucky Cap figure with some detailed arms and boots, which we've seen before already, so it's all reused parts except for the cape and head. And so that's fine. It's okay. I don't care either way. I don't know if you guys do. Let me know in the comment section below if you care about this character. And I wanted to talk about this guy just because it's a cool one. I think a lot of people are going to want. It's coming out a lot sooner than some of the other ones. It's in the Caliban wave, so there's not a whole lot to talk about since it's already been up for pre-order for a little while anyway. And it looks really good though. I'm pretty psyched about this. I think they could have screwed this up easily, and based on these pictures, or this image, pictures I have seen of it, it does look really nice. It looks like they nailed it, so that's very nice. And the Caliban Wave is up for pre-order at Big Bad Toy Store. Use the link in the description below. Thanks. Alright, next thing is the 3-pack from the Brotherhood, which includes Quicksilver, Magneto, and Scarlet Witch. Quicksilver looks like he's built on the Silver Surfer body, which isn't really Silver Surfer, but that's a good comparison. And it looks really good for him. Good anatomy, good musculature. It's going to be a nice, lean-looking figure. Really no complaints about this guy. I'm pretty psyched about it. Can't really come up with anything that I would change about him. He looks really, really good. And then we have Magneto. Now there are a few things I would change about Magneto. I'm very psyched that we're getting a good classic Magneto, but it looks like they have a little bit too much red at the boots to give him like a slipper look, so that's kind of a weird thing. He has no underwear. It's just belt and junk, and that's a little weird looking. If you only have your junk hanging out from under your belt, it's not a normal look. It's very strange. And then the last thing that worries me a little bit is how high the head is. It looks normal compared to the cape, but look where his shoulder is, and then look where his head is. That's a significant gap to fill. Just because the cape is poofy doesn't mean the head has to be higher. So I'm very, very cautiously optimistic about this guy. It could look like butts, but it could look awesome. And then we have Scarlet Witch, which everybody seems to be very excited about, and it does look pretty good, but she's built on that relatively slim body, and her head has a lot of hair coming out of the front of her little tiara thingy. And while she is drawn with some hair coming out sometimes, most of the time it's not. And in this case, this hair is coming out a lot. It's kind of strange looking. So it's not a terrible thing, but it's something I was just noticing right away, and that's what's throwing off the look for her for me. Moving on to this Wolverine, is it something people wanted? I don't know. His head looks really big. it possibly is just the photo because the hair is poofy and so it makes the head look big, but it's a Wolverine we're getting. It's I don't think he was ever on a vintage card, and I'm pretty sure this is a vintage card figure, so I don't know, it's strange. Does anybody care about this Wolverine? Let me know. Thanks. Moving on to something I'm very excited about, which is Silver Samurai. Oh my goodness, finally we're getting a Silver Samurai. He looks less good in this promo picture than he did actually on display, but it still looks really, really good. He's my number 2. I really like Sinister, but also Silver Samurai. Finally. If they can give us just a little bit of metallic paint that they're so good at, this thing's going to be a home run release. Very, very excited for this. Cannot wait. Hopefully the armor isn't too encumbering. But it's going to be awesome. Finally, we get a Silver Samurai, guys. So pumped. And I'm also pumped for this, which is a Hulk and Wolverine 2-pack with the cat face Wolverine. Looks like a fantastic figure. And then we also have the Hulk, which looks like a fantastic figure. Wolverine appears to be built on the same body as the most recent Wolverine. It's got a nice bright yellow, which is accurate. Little tiny shoulder pads, still accurate. And then the face looks phenomenal. Best Wolverine face we've seen from them in forever, I think, from Hasbro. So I'm really pumped for that. That might even be a good interchangeable regular Tiger Stripe Wolverine if he's got that more lemony yellow than the regular release. So that's kind of awesome. And then we have this new Hulk figure, which appears to be the new Hulk figure. It's going to dethrone any of the other ones, whether you like the comic one from the 2-pack or the face-off Hulk, which was also from a 2-pack. This is going to beat both of those because it has enough of a comic-y look and enough of that realistic look like the face-off Hulk. Hopefully it comes with fists. I don't know. Let me look at the pictures yeah, it looks like he has fists and open hands. So that's going to be a really nice release. The plastic shirt thingy comes off as far as I can tell. So really strong release there. Gotta be pumped for that new 2-pack. The thing about these 2-packs is though the prices vary across the 2-packs. So like this one's a $60 2-pack, I believe. And so they're going to be $30 a piece figures from Hasbro. That's not something I'm real happy about. We'll talk about that more in a minute. Let's look at Nightcrawler here, new release. I'm very hopeful. The old Nightcrawler figure was a very formidable figure. It had great articulation, great sculpts. The only thing really questionable was the head, and even then it was a nice sculpt. This one looks a lot more kind of generic, if you know what I mean. Like, it still looks like Nightcrawler, and obviously there are specific parts, but it kind of lost a little bit of its charm. I'm hoping that's not the case once it actually releases, because it's nice to have a new nice Nightcrawler figure if it's actually good. Here's one I wonder if people care about that much. It's another vehicle figure with an oversized motorcycle that's definitely too big for the figure, and it's Captain America in his World War II outfit. Yes, it's a nice look, but do we need more of that? I don't know. Do we need more Captain America at all at this point? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It looks like a good release if you want it. If you don't, then it looks really, really boring to me. All right. Next figure is a new Loki figure, which we have never had a Loki of this variety in Marvel Legends scale, which is kind of cool. I think a lot of people like this design, the spandex look with the gold mesh. He kind of looks like a male stripper. So it's not my favorite look, but it's a look people I know are pretty fond of. So it's cool to get it in the collection. It's going to be a nice, colorful figure. So what the heck? What the heck? Throw it in there. We'll take it, I guess. And then here we have Emma Frost in her Dominatrix outfit, which I think looks pretty good. A little bit of paint on those legs make them look really nice. Hopefully the chest isn't exceptionally small because it looks like it is right there. Not that we need giant gazungas, but you know, she should be a voluptuous woman because that's what she's supposed to look like. Anyway, it looks pretty good otherwise, so hopefully it's good, and hopefully it's not just painted on and it's sculpted for the chest. We'll see. I don't know. Head looks really nice. Legs look nice. Cape thing looks nice. We'll see about the torso. Here's a fan favorite. I know you guys really love this non-articulated torso, which I don't think is really that big of a deal considering that it's only a Marvel Legends figure with all these different parts. But it looks, I mean, it's better than the regular release, so if you're into this sort of thing, you're going to like it. It's got all the spidery hands and feet and head, so if you like that, cool. If you don't, well, you probably won't, because it wasn't a good figure as regular Spider-Man. It was just mediocre at best, and this is probably going to be about the same, but with more spidery features. So if you like Doppelganger, there you go. And here we have Boom Boom. Who is that? I don't know who that is. Do you guys? I'm sure you guys know who that is, but did you want this figure? I don't. After seeing it, I didn't before. I don't know why this is a release, but it is. So there you go. It's happening. Speaking of figures that why are they happening? This one. This guy's name is Blue Helmet Head Snake Man. I don't remember his name. I forgot his name, but who the hell is this guy? Is this another one that people really love and nobody seems to have heard of? Or is this another Paladin figure? Only looks goofier than Paladin. Holy crap, that's got to be the worst character design ever. Somebody tell me this is like a big thing and I just don't know about it, because if it's as bad as I think it is, why the heck is it getting made? Here's a thing that looks awesome, Scorpion. I do think he looks really good in most cases. I'm fond of the open face mask, but this is fine, it's accurate. Here's the thing I'm worried about. His torso is very skinny across the pecs and he seems to have a big head. He should be built a little bit more like Omega Red, if you ask me, a little bit more bulky, very, very much like a brute of a character. And this guy's fairly slender looking, so I'm a little worried about that. But all in all, it's a nice to see a new release for Scorpion. Hopefully it's good. Then we have the classic Dazzler look, which I think is actually really nice. It's got very nice color composition, and we've got some sparkly things, so that's nice. The jacket's always a nice touch, and it looks to be like, okay, so here's the thing. If it ends up being matte like this, I'll be all for it. It looks really cool in this matte finish. If it doesn't, if it's just got like the shiny generic plastic finish, then I'm gonna be bummed out. But this looks kind of cool. All right, coming up next, we have Iron Man reissued as Doctor Doom with a cape. Do you guys like this look for Doctor Doom? I personally hate it. I like classic Doctor Doom and modern classic Doctor Doom. I don't like Iron Man Doctor Doom. I think this is atrocious and I don't want it. I want to not see it ever again. But let me know what you guys think. If you like this, that's cool. If you don't, well, you're not getting a classic Doctor Doom anytime soon, apparently. I really wanted a new classic Doctor Doom. Very bummed out about that. Here we have Waterman, and he is very watery. His face is kind of weird. His eyes are very, very wide again. But otherwise, it looks cool. It looks like it should. He's got watery parts, and they look nice. And that's all you really need. He needs clothes and watery parts, and he has those. Hopefully, his eyes are a little bit different in the final release, because they're so freaking far apart again. Why is it like half the figures from Hasbro have very wide eyes? What the heck? That's not a thing. Stop doing that. Here we have Cannonball, which looks potentially really good. Kind of. If he doesn't come with legs, it's going to be weird, because it's already weird, because most of the time when he's drawn, you can see his legs. And then the times when you can't see his legs, there's still room for his legs to be engulfed in the flame. For this figure, it looks like he's like squirting the flame out of his ripped in half torso, because there's no place for his legs to go within that area. So it's kind of strange looking. It's cool, like, it looks nice, but at the same time it's strange, and it'd be very nice if he came with legs. I kind of doubt that, because I'm almost positive he's only a $20 figure, so I think we're going to end up with a half a Cannonball figure and a big glowy orange thing. So kind of bummed out, but kind of excited at the same time, because the top half of the figure looks really, really nice. Speaking of things that look really, really nice, we have a new classic Captain America. He is in the darker blue, so some of you may be bummed out about that, but this figure looks really good. I see at least some potentially new parts, and some parts which are just being reused in a very clever way, so I like that. The only thing that kind of holds it back for me, just personally, subjectively, is the shape of the eye cutouts, but I know it has been like that before, so that's technically fine. It's just not my cup of tea, but it still looks like a really strong Cap release. Maybe the strongest yet from Hasbro, because they've been kind of screwing the pooch for Cap. And here we have Thor, which looks great. Really nothing to say about Thor here. It looks really, or nothing bad to say. It looks really good, kind of like the Series 3 from Toy Biz, but modern and very well executed as far as I can tell. No fist hand, kind of a bummer. Hammer looks a little small maybe, but I guess we'll see about those things. Otherwise, it looks really, really, really nice, so that's kind of cool. Continuing the classic trend, we have the Iron Man. What's it? Infamous Iron Man, I think is what it is. And I'm psyched. Most of this is reused, though. Looks like we just get a new head and new paint job. And maybe different, I think we gotta get some different blast effects, too, with this guy. But I like it. I love it if we get this kind of paint job. The two different metallics with the darker gold and the kind of darker red and that really retro-looking head. I think it's gonna be a strong release. I'm kind of pumped for it. And it's a really good mold. It's very skinny, but it's still a really good mold all around. So I'm kind of psyched for this one. Looks cool. And then, if you really like Spider-Woman, we're getting a black version finally. We had the red and yellow one not too long ago on that really curvy body. Now we have a really skinny body black version, which bums me out because all of these female superheroes are being built like teenage boys, whereas all the male superheroes still look like they're supposed to. So it's kind of strange. They don't really fit in anymore, having these really skinny legs and narrow hips and no chest. It's just not what they're supposed to look like, so that bums me out. But we are getting a new black and white Spider-Woman, so that's kind of cool. Next up, we have Horse Thor. Just kidding, it's Beta Ray Bill. And it looks awesome. The head sculpt is great, and that's all you really need because his legs are pretty much nothing, and his arms are pretty much nothing, and his chest is pretty much nothing. 3 fingers, an axe hammer, and a horse head. That's all you need. That's what they've done. It looks really good. It's going to be a strong release if people want to buy Beta Ray Bill. I don't know. Is he that kind of character? I can't say. I've always thought he was kind of cool, but I don't know if other people actually want to buy stuff of him. So we'll see, but it looks like a nice release nonetheless. Here's one I really want to buy. Mix this in with those other two. This is one of my top 3 releases from Hasbro. Oh my goodness, it's metallic blue and white Cyclops, and what's that? He has an optic blast, and he's got a little fizzly thing if you don't want to use the optic blast. OM goodness, it is just gonna be really, really nice to get some more X-Men figures out of this Hasbro company. They don't seem to want to do it. I know why, but now they're doing it, and that's awesome. I'm so psyched, guys. We have so many X-Men figures coming out, and so many of them look good. Look at this Cyclops. So nice. So good. Okay, another thing that's really nice and good. We have a 2-pack of Juggernaut and Colossus. Again, it's another $60 2-pack as far as we know so far. It looks great, though, because it has the classic Colossus. Looks like it's going to be so much better than the one we got recently. No giant neck on this guy, so that's really good. Alternate hands, and then we get a repack of the Build-A-Figure Juggernaut. This one has alternate hands, alternate heads, and an alternate helmet. So that's going to be really, really nice. It's a 2-pack of really big figures. Colossus, let's just talk about him for a minute because I know everybody's wanted this for forever, the Gimli Colossus. It looks so much better. It's very possible that most of these parts are reused and then things are glued onto them, but that's fine. It's going to give him a bit bulkier chest. It's going to thicken up his neck area, and he won't have a lollipop as long as they peg the head correctly. So I am just so pumped for this. In fact, put this guy top 4 with the other 3. I'm very, very psyched. It looks awesome. I can't wait to get this in my hands. Here's something that worries me a little bit about this 2-pack, though not that it really matters because I'll leave Juggernaut's helmet on regularly. The one that's broken looks like something broke out of the helmet, and that doesn't quite make sense. I guess you could make the argument that it's been torn open, but still looks a little weird. It kind of looks like his head exploded inside the helmet and the helmet broke from the inside out. So that's kind of an odd choice, unless it's like direct from the comics or something. It seems weird, but like I said, I'm going to leave the regular one on anyway, so I don't care. But that's a really nice looking 2-pack. Speaking of 2-packs, here's one that's less interesting because it's kind of just 2 reissues, but it still looks nice. Like Kraven's got a new paint job, and Spider-Man looks like he's basically the same Spider-Man as before, but it's going to be a nice pickup for people that are needing to fill out some spots. So what the heck, I figured I'd throw it in here. And then there's one other 2-pack I want to talk about, and that is the movie 2-pack of Iron Man and Spider-Man. It's the only movie figures I'm talking about in this video because I don't collect them anymore, and they're just kind of so blah and boring to me. But this one looks nice. Spider-Man was a really strong release. Hopefully we get some other hands this time, but we are getting the spider legs that go on his back, and they are articulated, and they're gold, and they look really, really cool. And this time, Iron Man, even though he has a terrible sculpt and bad articulation, he has a really gorgeous paint job and alternate accessories, so that's going to be a really nice release. I'm going to pick it up because it looks cool, and I can live with Iron Man being half good and half bad because it looks really cool otherwise. Okay, moving on to Flame Toys. It's going to be a really brief segment here in this video just because they have only 2 things I want to talk about. One is a Megatron, which I think only looks okay. It's fine. I'm not going to buy it, but if they send it to me for free, I will keep it because it looks cool enough, but not enough for me to pay a whole bunch of money for. You guys remember I reviewed their Drift figure, and it was one of the most impressive figures I've ever handled. It is really expensive, but it is worth every penny of it. Now here's the thing from Flame that I'm really, really excited about. They showed 2 other giant figures which are really cool, but this is the one, the Optimus Prime figure. The one model kit is already a really great design, and this is not that design, but it's still a really, really, really cool design. He's huge and bulky, and the only thing that worries me a little bit, and you can't quite tell in these photos, is he doesn't have much of a neck normally, but in this design, his head looks like it's buried into his chest a little bit, depending on how he's posed. So we'll have to wait and see how it turns out, but I'm most likely going to get this even if they don't send me a review sample, because even though it's really expensive, their figures are awesome, and this is a really cool design. I love the proportions. He's just mean looking and bulky, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see it painted up. It's going to look so nice. And then he also has 2 axes for accessories. Dual accessories like that are always cool, so it's going to be really easy to pose this guy in an awesome way, and I'm very pumped to see that. Alright guys, so that's gonna do it. That's gonna be my wrap up for Toy Fair 2019. These are all the things I really wanted to talk about. There's plenty of other things out there, but I can't fit it all into one video, and this is the stuff I'm mostly concerned with anyway, so I thought one 30-minute video should be enough, and so that's what we're gonna do. Make sure you guys let me know in the comment section below which things of this video you are most excited about, and then which things that maybe I didn't show in this video you're excited about. We should have a pretty interesting conversation down there in the comments, because there's lots of stuff this year. Lots of nice stuff showing up at Toy Fair. I am very excited. It's very strange for me to say this, but Hasbro took the show away for me. They stole the show. So many X-Men figures, so many like Hulk, you can see just so many things that we needed that they seem to be doing and doing well. Yes, Neca had a good showing, Flame Toys had a good showing, Storm had a decent showing, even Mezco had a good showing, but this Hasbro, which, you know, I've got a kind of a love-hate relationship with, they're nailing it. If they release the stuff that they're showing at the state they're showing it, I'm very, very excited for that. And I think we have a good year coming, guys. So again, let me know what you're most excited for, what you think is going to be your #1 buy or something like that. You know, let's just talk in the comment section below, and we'll have a good time. So thanks again for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up just about every single day, and thousands of other videos already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.